Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. You know, folks, baseball's not the only kids' game around. Dress up at the ballpark as major leaguers play hide and seek from the baseball. Or could it be blind man's bluff playing peekaboo, I see you? Follow the leader in Toronto, where the Blue Jays play hopscotch through the Division East. And just like red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, they're rolling right on a winning spree. In St. Louis, Simon says, patty cake, go to right field, as the Cardinals play keep away from first place in an effort to capture the flag. Town Ball's the name of the game in Tarrytown, New York, where players reenact an old version of the national pastime. So ready or not, here we come. It's last call for This Week in Baseball. Now in our second decade.
Hi, I'm Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers, and I watch This Week in Baseball. Always exciting and always on goal.
American League perspective. Everything's hip, hip, hooray on Blue Jay Way. What a terrific picture for Toronto. A 3-game sweep of the Yankees, an 8-game winning streak, and #1 in the catbird seat. For one thing, the hitting's been a big factor in Toronto's early success. Last year at this time, the Jays were 11 games out. But the real key to the Toronto takeoff, Jimmy Williams, is...
Well, I think our pitching is one of the key reasons. Our starters have pitched extremely well, and I think our bullpen is much stronger than it was last year.
This is Jeff Musselman of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Hi, I'm Mark Eichhorn of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Greetings from Mark Eichhorn have been less than welcome to opposing hitters who can't seem to outwit the trusty middle reliever. Nor, for that matter, his sidekick, Jeff Musselman. Between the two, 11 wins, 4 saves, and the perfect setup for the Terminator. Talking about Tom Henke, who's terminated to the tune of 10 saves and an ERA well under 1.
I've been able to contribute so far this year, and I'm happy with what I've done so far. Jeff and Ike have been doing a great job, too, out of the pen, and they've set me up, and it's just been a team effort. It's easier to go out there knowing that, hey, if you do have a rough day, somebody can come in behind you and pick you up and pull you out that day.
Catcher Ernie Witt is mighty gleeful over the mound support. After all, his pitching staff is the league's best in ERA.
Pitching's been outstanding. I think that's the key to anyone winning their division and winning the American League or winning the World Series is your pitching. I think you have to be strong. We've got Jim Clancy's been throwing the ball super for us. Jimmy Key's been throwing the ball super. Dave Steves has been on a roll. And to me, he's got the confidence factor going back again. And when a pitcher has confidence in his pitches, he's going to be a winner.
The return to form of Blue Jay ace Dave Stieb has really been mighty important. Now, last year, he lost his confidence in his slider, but now both are back in his repertoire. The pitching staff as a whole, as a matter of fact, has been running real smoothly with a communication system that's top-notch.
I think they know that I usually try to set up the hitters fairly well, and if they get the ball in the area where I want it, we're very successful, and it's showing by our record this year.
In fact, it's the best record in the majors for the surging Blue Jays. Now, let's get on the ball with a look back at the old-time version of our national pastime.
Hey, Mel! Baseball coming up the way it used to be!
Well, all right. Complete with mid-19th century dress and authentic style uniforms, participants came to Tarrytown, New York to play ball. Town ball, that is. A forerunner of sorts to modern baseball. To maintain authenticity, the ball is filled with rags, while 4 wooden stakes serve as bases and form a square around the pitcher or thrower in this case. The mascot offers even more evidence that town ball is a far cry from baseball.
In many ways, it resembles cricket more than modern baseball does. You can hit behind you. There is no foul territory. There are no called strikes, no called balls. The feature that differentiates the old game from the new one is that a batter cannot be put out through a force play or getting the ball to the base in advance. He must be struck by the ball or tagged by him. It may have produced some injuries in the old days, but it provides for entertaining spectating. What's important to recognize here is it's not 3 outs to the inning, it's 1 out, all out. You've got 14 men on the side, and as soon as 1 out is recorded, the in team becomes the out and the out becomes the in. The tosser today, as the pitcher was called in this version of the game, his job is not to deceive the batter, not to fog it by him, but to simply give the batter the ball where he wants it. Home runs were generally frowned upon. They were not it was not regarded as artistic. The idea was to create opportunities for the fielders. The joy of the game then was to see good fielding plays.
In seeing how this game is played, you can see how the positions evolved, as catcher being the most important because he covered all the foul tips. And a guy like Connie Mack became a very famous baseball player before he was a manager, because he was tall and lanky. He could cover ground quickly and with long strides and snag those foul tips.
And as in baseball, the object of town ball is to score runs, tallies as they were called.
They were supposed to feed the tallyman. I didn't know it was going to be peanuts.
This is between you and me. The bamboozle pitch will put them down.
Those pulling for the Leatherstockings were no doubt delighted by their team's rousing play. Though the Hudson River Half Moons led 11-7 at one point, the more experienced Leatherstockings came from behind, thanks to their strikers, who collected plenty of knocks and scored 8 more tallies, and in the 26th hand, won the game.
Catch it! Oh, get under it! Oh!
Though Town Ball's original 1858 charter called for a total of 75 tallies before the game could end, both teams agreed to bend the rules and call it quits, with the Leatherstockings winners 15-14. And now let's open the notebook for this week in baseball's Twib Notes from around the American League. 'Tis a scary sight to any team when nothing goes right in the field. Take, for instance, the case of the Oakland A's, whose defense went broke in a 12-2 loss to the Cleveland Indians. 8 of the 12 runs were unearned, as Oakland made a total of 7 errors in the game.
To the mound, a croquet shot to the bag. Everybody's safe. Oh, my.
Add an error to Phillips' total, make it 7 boo-boos on the day by the Athletics.
15-year veteran Bill Madlock, now of Detroit, was recently released by Los Angeles. And just in case anyone wondered if the 4-time batting champ could still hit, just consider this. In his first 5 games as a Tiger, Madlock drove in 5 runs, scored 7, and cracked 12 hits for a .522 average. Time for this week's quiz, brought to you by the 1988 Chevy full-size pickup. From the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy trucks. Lee Mazzilli of the Mets has been a prince in the pinch this year, but in a doubleheader against Pittsburgh, he started both games, and besides picking up career hit number 1,000, Mazzilli collected 8 RBIs in the Twin Bill. Now, can you name the major leaguer with the most RBIs in one season? Think back and think Cubs. National League dilemma. St. Louis is in first, but who's in right? The Cardinals may be down on their health, but what a switch from a year ago when they were in last. What's the secret?
Part of the reason is that we have a great group of guys that come off our bench. We're just not a team that relies on its starting 9 for the whole year. We got some guys that come off the bench and play some good baseball, and I think that's been the key to our success. Other teams that have had injuries haven't been able to win, and I think that they'll separate the better teams from the teams that can't do that down the stretch.
Off to their best start in years, the Cards have had to make adjustments, most of all in right field. For instance, rookie Jim Lindeman was supposed to fill the job when the season started, but life in right turned out to be short-lived when a hamstring injury sidelined him. So on came the replacements. Only Whitey Herzog had to use 6. Make that 7 right field substitutes. Who, you ask? Well, Tito Landrum, who played 4 games. Tom Lawless, 1 game. Kurt Ford, 20 games. Even catcher Tony Pena handled the assignment for his first time. Oh, there was also rookie John Morris. But most unlikely of all has been Jose Oquendo. A shortstop by trade, Oquendo has started at 5 different positions this year. More confusion? Well, one-time right fielder Jack Clark now plays first base. So while things may seem out of sync, fact is all's well, especially with Clark.
We seem like we'd be able to get him to the plate in key parts in the game. And when he's going well and hitting the ball, I think he changes our whole offensive attack to a team. And I think that's been proven in the last few weeks we've been playing. He's been doing a job in hitting the long ball and really just killing teams.
You get 3 great swings every time he goes to the plate, and it really strikes some fear into the hearts of pitchers. And you see guys on the bench saying, well, Jack's coming up. I just know he's going to get a hit. I know he's going to hit the ball hard somewhere. And it just really instills a lot of confidence in his teammates.
In building up a full head of steam, Clark has produced hot stuff. 17 homers and 56 RBIs while batting better than .325. As for the next man in the order, Willie McGee, he's also been a big run producer. Of late, 21 RBIs in 16 games. Mighty fine offensive output for the Cardinals, whose first-place status has put St. Louis in a whirl. Off to Wrigley Field for a matter of misfortune and mistiming. More slings and arrows of outrageous fortune for the Mets when they took on the Cubs in Chicago. Game 1 went like this. The Mets tied the score in the 9th. With 1 out and runners on 2nd and 3rd, reliever Lee Smith looked doomed. Then Bill Allman came up, and it seemed as if a squeeze was in the offing.
A little cat-and-mouse game here. Third base. And the squeeze is on. It's bunted. And no play. I don't know what that was.
That's a mess-up right there, Ralph. That's what that is. Somebody blew a sign.
Then with Mookie Wilson up, the Cubs decided to walk him with first base open. But the Mets were caught unawares when Barry Lyons was picked off second for out number 3. How about that? In the last of the 9th, Manny Trillo dealt the Mets a final blow.
And Trillo with a drive to left. It's way back. It's gone. Goodbye. And the Cubs win it.
Stirring up even more pleasure at Wrigley, the Cubs took 2 out of 3 from the Mets and moved 3 games out of first. Next, let's review This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the National League. It may have been bat day in Philadelphia, but for the Expos, it was a case of dead wood as rookie Mike Jackson allowed nothing but zeros. In his longest outing of the season, Jackson went into the 9th inning looking to become the first Philly to throw a no-hitter in Philadelphia this century. With Tim Raines leading off in the top of the 9th, Jackson needed just 3 outs for the no-hitter and his first Major League win.
The windup by Jackson, the pitch to Raines. Here's a drive into right field. It's over Willie's head. It lands on the warning track. There's a hit. Raines goes to second with a double, and the Expos have broken up the no-hitter on a double by Tim Raines.
Still, Jackson ended up with a 2-hitter for his first Major League victory. Wayne Gretzky, hockey player extraordinaire and member of the Stanley Cup champion Edmonton Oilers, is a baseball fan, and recently at a game in Philadelphia gave San Francisco pitcher and admirer Jim Gott something any hockey fan would relish. An autograph from the 8-time MVP. I'd like one, too. It was no doubt a much appreciated memento from one fan to another.
Now following Gretzky, seeing what a tremendous talent that he is, being out there in a very rough sport and being so graceful out there, and he's just taken that finesse part of the game so far.
We respect each other as athletes, and they follow hockey, we follow baseball. You appreciate how talented they are and what they can do, and it's something that you always, I guess the grass is always greener. You always say, God, I wish I could do that, and in their sport they're saying, I wish I could do that. It's nice to watch them and admire their talents.
And now, let's check in with the answer to this week's quiz. Hall of Famer Hack Wilson always had a knack for driving in runs. In 1930 with the Cubs, he hit 56 homers and collected 190 RBIs, most ever by a major leaguer in one season. By the way, Lou Gehrig of the Yankees set the all-time American League record in 1931 when he drove in 184 runs. The masked ball, where baseball imposters are on the loose. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery. But then again, didn't Shakespeare warn, "What a tangled web we weave when once we practice to deceive"? "I agree," said she. "No more deception, if you please. Just act naturally, no matter how silly you seem." Still undercover? Why the disguise? Don't want to be identified? Well, hang in there. We won't give you up. If nothing else, we'll get a few laughs out of this charade. Oh, man, you again? This is a travesty of a mockery of a sham. Hey, better take your cue, stay under wraps, and bow out of this masquerade. Moving on to matters materially different, prepare for defensive maneuvers. You dig? Starting with the Pittsburgh Pirates' Rafael Belliard. San Francisco rookie Mark Wassinger. The Phillies' Rick Shue to Steve Jeltz. California's Dick Schofield. Houston rookie Chuck Jackson. Toronto's Willie Upshaw. A comebacker to David Palmer, Atlanta. Chicago White Sox, Ozzie Guillen. Across town to the Cubs, Andre Dawson. Casey Candell, Montreal Expos. Minnesota Twins, Dan Gladden. The Cincinnati Reds, Eric Davis. Stage right for John Morris, Cardinals. Finally, White Soxer Darryl Boston in a real-life disappearing act. Out of sight. On to Omaha, Nebraska, annual site of the College World Series. This year, the Oklahoma State Cowboys faced the Cardinal of Stanford, who took an early lead in the championship game. But Robin Ventura sparked a Cowboy comeback. In all, 4 hits for the Oklahoma State star, whose NCAA record 58-game hitting streak was snapped earlier in the tournament. Stanford, though, rallied behind freshman Paul Carey, who drove in 2 runs and led the Cardinal with 3 hits as he became the series' most outstanding player. Stanford starter and All-American Jack McDowell left in the 8th inning en route to the victory, and maybe to the minors, since he was picked number 5 by the White Sox in the amateur draft a week before. As for the Cardinal, they got an added boost in the 8th inning when reliever Steve Chitrin got out of a bases-loaded jam by striking out the side. The Cardinal added 3 runs for good measure in the 9th, and then with a 9-5 lead, found themselves 1 out away from their first College World Series championship.
Curveball tapped back to Chitrin. He's got it on the lead. The Stanford Cardinal is flying high. They're the champions of college baseball.
This is the most valuable team by far. We just never quit. Everyone just came back, fought. Everybody got big hits for us this whole tournament.
How sweet it is for the College World Champion Cardinal. Time for This Week in Baseball's Flashback, brought to you by Gatorade, thirst aid for that deep down body thirst. It's June 23rd, 1971, in Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium. Rick Wise has just become the 6th pitcher in Philadelphia history to throw a no-hitter.
Great ball game. How do you feel?
I feel great. Tremendous feeling. I can't describe it.
You knew you were going for it.
Oh, sure, all the way.
Did anybody mention it to you at all?
No one said a word about it. I was aware of it all the time.
In just missing a perfect game with the 6th inning walk, the 25-year-old Wise faced 28 batters as he throttled the Big Red Machine 4-0. But pitching was only part of this Philadelphia story. For while Wise thoroughly denied Cincinnati batters, he was something else at the plate, complimenting his no-hitter with not one but 2 homers as he drove in 3 of the Phillies' 4 runs.
Yeah, it was hot. I already had 1 home run, and that's what they usually do to good hitters. They give them the green light on 2-0, so he gave it to me, and he piped one, and...
There's a well-hit ball, deep left field. That might go. It is a home run for Rick Wise's second of the game.
I remember running around the bases. I couldn't really feel going around the bases. I don't recollect going around. I mean, it was just kind of a trip on air. I mean, I know it was my second home run, and I knew I had a no-hitter going,
But for the 19,000 on hand, the no-hitter turned to a heart-stopper when Pete Rose came up with 2 outs in the 9th.
He probably is the last guy you want to see up there when you have a no-hitter going. You know, Pete, his will to win is exceptional, and but mine was too that night.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing a line drive, he did it! Vukovich made the grab, Wise has done it! A no-hit, no-run game!
Oh, just another ho-hum day at the ballpark. Well, that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.